ability to.
Hi guys, being here back with more. Watch Oxygen. Also listening to the As Always podcast because fuck it. I don't give a shit about this game. I'm just trying to rush through it.
Like, so say it's like if I'm not live and someone goes to my channel, but like Ethan's live, Ethan will be on my his stream will be there, so like you can get more viewers that way. So sharing things. The other big one is obviously raids, which we've done before on YouTube, raiding people, like sending people over to someone else's stream, but there's an integrated raid feature on Twitch, so like when you're done with a stream, you could do start raid, choose a streamer, and then immediately, like everyone will join in, you just hit start raid, and you'll just refresh the page, and your chat is immediately into theirs. So like everyone that was watching you is then watching them, they get a notification that says, you know, blah 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 raided you with this many viewers, and they get more viewers, and like it's just this good sense of community. I think it's a ton of fun. I just think there's a lot of tools, there's a lot of stuff going on, and on top of that, quality is way better. Like I was watching Ben's stream.
I really don't give a shit
So
about this
crisp and so clear, and the delay between like me typing in chat and him reading it was like a second. It was like nothing. It was completely instant. It was mental. So Twitch is just a way fucking forward. It's great. And I'm fucking loving it. I'm very excited.
Yeah, and I assume they don't take 30% of chat donations like fucking YouTube does.
I'm not sure what they do with bits, which is like their equivalent of super
Well, they
chat.
do with bits.
So yeah, so bits is their equivalent of super chat. So like so if someone watching a stream buys bits, and then they can
I thought
send
you were
those
like
bits
doing
to
a you thing, like oh, you know what they do with the bits and pieces. You know what I mean?
No, but so their actual thing is called bits.
Okay.
And so it's not like a microtransaction. Like you buy bits, you have bits, that's your Twitch currency. Then you give that to various streamers. Then the streamer has bits, and that is equivalent to money in your currency. Which is good. You can buy the bits and pieces, and then you give the streamers bits and bobs. But that's good. I don't know what they do in terms of percentages of that. I know with subs, so like when people sub,
Oh, that was a friend.
so the equivalent of YouTube subs on Twitch is followers, and then subs is like members.
Oh, that was it for that chapter? Well, that was really anticlimactic.
So you pay to be a sub. So like you follow someone for free, but to be a subscriber, then it's like a paid thing if you want.
What do they get to be a subscriber? Like
it depends what you
mission.
want. You can have whatever benefits you want. So like a Patreon type system where you just choose, like if you want to be a tier 1, you get this thing, like you get this many emotes, you get this thing on the Discord, you get whatever.
Oh, I didn't realize there's like our there's our people just walking around here. I didn't notice that. That's actually pretty cool.
Would go through Streamlabs, and it's a much smaller percentage than YouTube that Streamlabs takes, which is nice. So when people use that, and it's just overall just I'm having a good time. It's a good community, and it's a good vibe.
Wow. Okay. Well, I just want to say I'm not doing it. And no, I'm just joking.
Hey man, I'm not doing it.
I'm not doing it. It sounds too complicated for me.
I was surprised.
Oh, from delivery drone. So we probably something outside.
Why's that?
I was like, there's no way Tyler's doing this. It's just not happening. I can't imagine Tyler streaming on Twitch.
I mean,
just because you're 43. So.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Look,
it's so weird too that Tyler is like the old man in the community.
You know
in the
what I
Four
mean?
Pillars community, when like I'm like
I'm gonna need
a couple months older than him, I'm pretty sure.
And when I say a minute, I mean a month. You know?
To figure it all out.
Well, I think here's the thing. I've got.
I'm pretty sure we're the same age, but like I'm pretty sure I'm like a couple months older than him.
And especially the Ezio collection one I'm doing, I definitely want to do it on YouTube. If that makes sense, because that's specifically like an Assassin's Creed audience. Where I feel like if I'm streaming the Ezio collection, but then I also have another stream series after Final Fantasy, I'll do that series on Twitch. I hate to interrupt you while you're busy resisting.
Yeah. Well, I've been staggering my change. Anything new that I just do, if I'm like want to do a one-off, then I'm going to do it just on Twitch. My Persona series, I'm just going to finish it on YouTube, so I'm not going to do any of that on Twitch. And then my AC1 speedrun stuff, I'm streaming to both. Which you could do through Streamlabs OBS Prime, which is like I paid for it, just because I wanted to be able to do it. So I've been doing that. So when I did my AC1 speedrun stuff.
Oh, Samantha got kidnapped? Oh, that's shit.
I was streaming to both Lasers Live and to my Twitch channel, which was fun. It was cool. So I was getting people to move over, and it was nice. And I was only reading Twitch chat, but I was also reading like super chats if I got any of those as well, obviously.
That's a good way to do it.
So that was good fun. It was good stuff. But I had like a bunch of people moved over. I've already surpassed like I think it's 2,100 followers on Twitch. So
Shit.
I'm doing well. I already had some followers already on Twitch from when I streamed like 6 years ago, but it's good stuff. And eventually I'm going to be just on Twitch, and just the stream afterwards, the video version I'll just export it to Lasers Live, and that's what that channel exists for basically.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
After all that effort with fucking Lasers Live and building that.
I know. But at least it can still be used for something. And on top of that, like with 4 Pillars clips, Twitch allows for clipping stuff so much easier because viewers can clip. So that's
perfect.
Yeah, you can just.
I don't want to have
Yeah, it's really easy. I streamed the other day, and I've literally probably got about 100 clips just sitting there that I can go through and just see what people have clipped, download them, and then put them up if I want to.
All the way
really
up there.
And there's so many more customization tools for like who do you want to be able to clip.
Shit, it also sucks that we lost.
Mods aren't just mods.
What's her face? That's the person we need.
So I've got a few of the mods
she has the drone.
Discord that I've set to be editors on my Twitch channel. So that when I'm doing stuff, they can change the title of the stream and the category of the stream as I'm doing different things. So I don't have to worry about any of that because they can do all of it. Which is nice as well.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we're gonna need her.
That makes
If it was anyone else, I wouldn't give a shit, but it's her, so. She's the only one that has a cargo drone.
Okay. There's a lot of benefits you're giving me. Especially if, like, the whole streaming to 2 places at once. Does that take up, like, any more, like, I guess, data, like, your internet speed? Is that, like, you're streaming twice? Or is it sort of go through the one thing and it's up to those sites to kind of...
So most of this 40 minutes of this podcast is talking about WandaVision.
I don't know. I mean, because I have such fast internet that I just don't. I guess I wouldn't know.
And then after that's Melly Memory.
So it didn't do anything.
I haven't watched WandaVision. I have a general idea of what happens in it though.
It probably does take you a bit. It probably does mean you need faster internet, or it uses more internet maybe. But I know. I can't be that much because I was streaming at the same time Elva was streaming, so it was like 3 streams were going out at once, all in like 1080p, 60 frames.
Yeah.
So like 5,000 bit rate and everything. So yeah, it was probably.
Hey, look, they're talking about our friend Malik on the
TVB. Yeah. Okay.
Let's see it then.
Other documents in the Malik dossier.
Yeah, we're taking over Twitch. It's gonna be good. Everyone's starting Twitch stuff. It's good. I really like it. And what's fun about like raids and everything is it's so much easier to support community members too. Like it's, on YouTube, it's like you kind of have to directly work with people to be able to help anyone out. But like on Twitch, it's like Ben was just playing The Witcher and I just finished my stream, so I just raided him with like 90 people or something, and then everyone was over there and just having a good time and like following and everything. It's just good. It's good vibes.
I like good vibes. Just vibing, bro.
Just a nice positive vibe.
Okay.
I quite like it.
Not do that, please.
What the fuck that accent was.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm definitely open to if it's a real, like, significantly better platform. Like, I was more like I wanted to hear it out. I mean, I trusted you guys, the amount you guys are talking about, I'm like, it must be a significantly better platform for you all to be raving about it that much, so there must be something to it worth doing. That's why I was convinced or annoyed if you were like, yeah, I mean, there's emotes, and that's it, and I'm like, what?
That's
like, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, you all need to shut the fuck up. Like, I'm
There's
not moving my whole
emotes,
fucking
and
audience
that's
because it's emotes, yeah. Oh, I can do emotes? No, but if there's, like, that many legitimate reasons.
Yeah,
Wait,
it's just
what?
really fun. It's just like our community. I feel like was always built for Twitch almost. Like I feel like there's such a different vibe between Twitch and YouTube. Like every other YouTube stream I've watched has been very different, but on Twitch, every stream I've watched has been like it just feels like a 4 Pillars stream. It feels like they're our guys. So it's just nice to be in a sort of, I guess Twitch almost has like a community of people that feel like very similar to the way that we do things, which is nice.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm convinced. It's
That's good.
It's exciting. That's really good. It's yeah, it's gonna be cool to try something new and I guess have that new venture, the new phase. That's what we're so good at. I feel like in our community is we do keep things like fresh. Like things don't get stagnant if you're around the 4 Pillars. There's always a new thing going on, a new phase, a new idea, a new show or project or way we do things or platform. So
Yeah.
it's just another one.
Exactly.
the other day, speaking of streaming, I started streaming
I've got a bead of a kidnapped operative.
Ezio collection.
Send me the location.
Again. Yeah. And I gotta say, man,
badly, Valhalla's
it felt great. It felt so good. Like, it just felt good. But it also felt good that I have to platinum it too. So I'm like, I'm not just like playing through it for another playthrough. I've literally got to do everything the game has.
Yeah.
And knowing that made me actually feel good, not bad. So I love that.
That's good. Yeah. There's a lot of good shit in those games. Platinuming them. I mean, I did 100%. I didn't platinum them when I did it, but I did 100%, and that was good fun.
In AC2, 100% is way more effort than platinum.
Oh, so you don't have to 100% it's platinum?
No, not in AC2. Brotherhood and Revelations you do, but not AC2. You don't have to do fucking thieves races. You know what I mean? Like to platinum AC2. No, AC2's piss easy to platinum.
Yeah, I platinumed AC2
5 guards
on the channel.
Yeah.
Our missing operative is here.
That's not hard.
Some armed guards.
It's a lot less time than fucking do every city's thief race. You know what I mean?
I like the thief races. You know, I like thief races.
I mean, I like one thief race. You know what I mean? I don't need 7 of them.
Give me more parkour courses. I'm happy with that.
Yeah. Well, I feel like the game sort of does that as you play the game. You know what I mean?
But I like the challenge. I like when the game's like, right, now put it to the test. Like the virtual reality, the little challenge courses and stuff.
Yeah.
You get those.
Well,
those are cool.
Yeah, well, I mean, I liked it in Brotherhood because the Thieves Mission had variety.
Right, get her out.
You know what I mean? It wasn't just the only thief missions in AC2 are the races, whereas in Brotherhood it's like there's all these storyline ones. There are some races in each sort of section of missions sets you get as you progress through the game. There's always like one race, and I like that. But there's variety. That's what I like about it. So
that's true.
Just good to get back into that. Can you explain Persona to me? I feel like this is like, why are you playing an anime?
We're already at that point in the podcast?
It's so good, man. How do I even explain Persona? It's so big. There's
Looks
so
like the
much going on.
timestamps are probably wrong.
It is like you're playing an anime series. Like it feels like multiple seasons of a TV show, but turned into a game. Like it just, the way it has an overarching story that continually unravels itself and reveals.
How long is it? I feel like you've been streaming it for 7 years.
Very long. It's a very long game. It's like over 100 hours.
Like you've got
No. Okay. No, before you even get in, I had on stream the other day.
Yeah.
David and I were, because Dave was on the stream for the Ezio collection, and we were sitting there playing it, and we were talking. It's like, honestly, we were trying to figure out what happened to games and why it became such a thing. Because David goes, "How long does AC2?" I'm like, "I don't know, like fucking 12 hours." Like a platinum in 15.
Nicely done.
He goes, "That's perfect." I'm like, "It is perfect. Like, why does anything need to be longer than that? You know, like why? I just don't understand why."
Well, that's the thing. It's like when you get something like an Assassin's Creed Valhalla, it's one of those games where it's just the whole thing is just fluff and it's just this padded out. Also, I hate the game, by the way.
I know.
Oh, now I get
fucking hate it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the game is just it's like fake long. It's not, the game's not that long because it needs to be. The game's that long because they're like, well, if we pretend it's this long, like it. I don't know. It's this weird concept that games can sometimes have, where it's like, well, games need to be longer, and it's not because
we
they
traced
have
it back. But we traced it back, James.
Okay,
here's the thing.
Interesting.
The first game to brag, because no games used to brag about everything. And here's the thing: that game that bragged did it correctly because it had 100 hours of real content in it.
What, Witcher?
But then everyone else goes, "Oh,
or Skyrim?
Just like content."
Or Skyrim.
So we've just got to make our games 100 hours because this one game bragged it was 100 hours, even though it's way more than that. And that was The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim.
Yeah.
In 2011, bragged about this game has 100 hours of content, and everyone's like, "Holy shit, there's 100 hours!" But we all knew when they said that it was 100 hours of like game.
Yeah,
which it
hasn't.
hasn't.
Same as every Elder Scrolls. Like, look at Elder Scrolls 4, look at Elder Scrolls 3. Like, they're all games like that. But 5 hit the mainstream.
Wow.
Yeah, and that changed everything. And then it became a thing of like,
I don't think that's
our game's
true
like
at all.
50 hours, 75 hours.
Like, I think the transition
200
came
hours.
around The Witcher 3.
But none of them or very few
I don't know.
games
I don't think it's from The Witcher 3, but I'm saying
hours.
like around that time period. Because I think you still look
in fact,
in.
I don't think I've ever played a game.
Maybe GTA 5 is also another good answer. I don't know, because it's like, if we look at like 2013 and all the games that came out in 2013, I feel like all those are still like 10-hour games. A lot of like the major titles there. Maybe Mass Effect is a good one that's like longer. But like, I feel like it was this last generation. I feel like games started to just naturally become longer. But anyway.
In one single playthrough that's more than 100 hours, other than Skyrim,
I don't think it
that
was
was worth it.
That made it. That changed.
That's not The Witcher 3.
I didn't take me 100 hours to play The Witcher 3.
I'm in.
Get all the names, places, dates, whatever information you can in there.
It didn't take me even close to 100 hours to play The Witcher 3. Maybe like 50 for the main game,
I'll see what
and then like 20 for both DLCs.
Sure. Yeah, I guess.
So it's
I
probably
guess
like 70 hours
that
to
long, isn't it?
do the main story and both DLCs. Was probably 70 hours.
Yeah,
And that was
there's a lot
what?
of. There's a lot
I
of.
could have
like,
done 100.
You
I could
skipped
have
the
done.
Baron quest line, so like
I didn't
obviously.
skip it. I didn't skip the Baron quest
You
line.
told him no. The Baron was like, "Can you come help me in the swamps, Witcher?" And then you were just like, "No." And that was it.
That's
where it
Fuck
ended.
can do it himself. He can fucking get out there.
The
fucking
woman
burn some
cuckolded
calories.
me for years. It's my favourite Baron quote. I like that. Yeah, okay then. I guess The Witcher 3 isn't 100 hours long.
It probably wasn't even 50 for the main game. Yeah, it can be, but I didn't need it to be. You know.
That's the thing.
The Witcher 3 was the amount of The Witcher 3 I played was perfect. It is one of the best games I've ever played, and I didn't need to play a minute more. It was perfect amount of time to have played it, 60 to 70 hours, and I was like,
that's the thing with
I
The Witcher
enjoyed all
3.
of it.
The Witcher 3 isn't that long. Like watching George play it on Deathmarch, like he finished it in under 24 hours. Like it was like 15 hours or something. Like that.
Yeah,
was
maybe it wasn't
he
even
finished the
there.
main
Maybe it's
game.
even less than I thought it was. Yeah.
So he the main story of The Witcher 3 is not very long. It's focused and it's great, and that's it. Like it's a great game.
I think I'll debate that,
But it
especially towards
allows
the end.
itself to be 100 hours if you want it to be. There's enough content within the world to do that. But it doesn't pad it out because you don't ever feel forced to. Whereas when you're playing something like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, the whole game is just 100 hours and you can't change that. It just is that long, and it's all shit.
Yes, it is. It is all shit. I'm glad you finally know that.
Yeah,
And
maybe
can
I'll
we just talk about
exaggerate
the
a bit.
fact that you're realizing that? Like, why? And I knew it would happen because you're not dumb.
Fantastic.
You're not an idiot. But let's be honest with ourselves. You know the truth now, don't you?
It's just that the game.
You just didn't recognize how shallow the things you liked were, and that's what I recognized from
It's
the
in the
start.
It's. I think what it is, right? Maybe I'd have realized earlier had I been not streaming it, but I think it's. I stream it. My initial reaction to seeing Bayek's letter is, "Oh my god, that was so cool!" Like as it would be in the moment.
Yeah.
But then afterwards, like you think about it and you're like, I guess it wasn't that good because it doesn't really mean anything. But then you don't want to admit that because then you're like, but on stream I said it was so good. If I go back on it, everyone's like, you fucking hypocrite. So it's like, well, I've got to stick by it now. And it's like, I should stream these games.
You honeydicked yourself, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it's my fault.
You honeydicked yourself. That's wild. That's a weird thing to do.
So I guess, obviously there's still things in the game that I do like. I'm honestly, I 100% hate everything in it, but
I do. I actually
overall,
genuinely.
I know you.
I think Valhalla's Odyssey level. That's what
I
I
know.
genuinely
Look,
believe.
overall, I do despise the game though, and everything they've done post-launch has done more to make me hate it. They want me to hate it. They want that Valhalla broke me. They're trying to get it out of me, I think.
Yeah. Someone said to me on Twitter, they're like, "Oh my God, Valhalla broke James." Odyssey broke James, and Valhalla murdered Tyler. I feel like it did. Like, I literally don't even like video games anymore, and it's partly because of Valhalla. Because I've never had, honestly, playing Valhalla. I enjoyed playing Odyssey more than I've enjoyed playing Valhalla in terms of the experience of playing the game.
Sure.
And what I mean by that is, I knew Odyssey was shit while I was playing it. Like, you're playing it and I'm like, this is like, it's whatever. It's just whatever. And you're just sort of farting your way through it. And then I'm playing Valhalla, waiting for something good to happen, and it just never happened. Like, that's what it felt. And it was, but also, so long. Because with Odyssey, I platinumed it in 70 hours. I couldn't even finish the main game of Valhalla until 100 hours. Like, let alone then you want me to go fucking platinum the game?
It's meant to be a Viking saga, Tyler. You don't get it. It was based on the Nordic sagas.
Yeah.
You're just not. You don't have a big enough brain to get it.
Yeah. It's yeah. It's no. I get it. I do get it. And it's awful, and I don't like it. And that's just the reality.
It looks like we might wonder if you still continue the
Well, I don't have the game
good
installed on
base-wise.
Add that to the slaves and the organ market.
Honestly, it was River Raids that really got to me. Like, playing River Raids made me feel like shit. So bad. So bad. Worse than Odyssey. Just like some of the worst content, like the worst fucking dribble. I just...
Yeah.
God.
But don't forget that, you know, you're playing as a 1,200-year-old hidden one that's actually Loki, so in the modern day now, so that's...
I don't mind that. Yeah, I actually like
pretty
that.
cool, don't you reckon? Best modern day since Brotherhood. Oh, the amount of people that said that to me. I'm like, you guys are fucking brain dead cunts. How about that?
I think this is
to
easily
be
the best
fair
modern
though,
day since
what
Brotherhood.
is it, or is it, what's the best modern day since Brotherhood though?
Fucking, I'd rather play the Black Flag modern day than that nonsense.
Actually,
I would.
I'd
At least
rather
it's
play
kind of
Valhalla.
funny.
It's shorter. Valhalla's modern day shorter. There's not a lot of
Actually, do you know what I liked? I didn't mind Origins modern day. Like, I didn't like
I
it, but it
fucking
was
hate
just
Origins.
nothing. You know what I mean? It was so,
Nothing.
it was so enough. Like, I remember you liked Origins one day, and I was like, that was pretty shit though.
No,
and it
look,
was shit. But
Valhalla's-
I preferred Origins modern day because it didn't like. It didn't do anything good, but it didn't do anything bad. It was just, I mean, it's nothing yet.
No, it
did a
did.
And I'd rather nothing than what Valhalla and Odyssey's modern day was, which is
Look,
fucking nonsense.
Valhalla's modern day
Is nonsense.
But you know, no. But I will take that over anything else since the good ones, purely for those 2 Desmond voice notes. To be honest, I'll take those because they're actual quality.
Yeah, give it to
If
me
it's,
on
it's just those.
comic book, it's the same.
but I'm not gonna read a fucking comic. But I was gonna say something.
Okay.
I don't forget what we were talking about Valhalla. It's about Persona. Yeah, let me just bring it back round, right?
Yeah.
Persona is also 100 hours long or more, and it's not like a Witcher. The game is always that long, but everything in the game is so fucking good, and it's so weird because it's half. It's like the game is like two. It's like two things. Like you switch back and forth because obviously the stuff that's like combat based, where you're going into these like dungeon segments and you're fighting these enemies and fighting bosses and working your way around, like crawling through this dungeon, managing your inventory and stuff like that, getting loot, whatever. And then there's the other half of the game where you're living your normal life as this kid who goes to high school and you've got relationships with all these different characters, but everything you do.
So wait, you go to high school and then you go to dungeons.
Essentially, yeah, and it's like these two worlds that exist, sort of. It's hard to explain.
Okay.
But everything you do in your normal life affects your stats in
James,
the other
can you explain
world
Logan Paul to me?
This is a podcast where you're explaining things to Tyler. He's like, can you just explain how this thing works, man?
I just don't understand.
Dead sec.
My
That server died.
nephew keeps telling me about this guy
I'll
Logan
send it to the
Paul.
Attorney General's office.
I don't know.
Mary Kelly is going down for all of this.
No,
Hey,
sorry.
James.
Sorry.
What's Fortnite? Can you explain this Fortnite thing to me?
No, I sort of know Fortnite. That's like COD.
Royale.
It's like COD, isn't it?
Just like COD, it's the same, yeah.
But it's like got like cartoon characters and Lara Croft.
And Lara Croft, yeah. Oh, don't get me fucking started. Lara Croft. We're not talking about fucking. Why is every franchise that I liked as a kid bad now? Why does this happen? So, Assassin's Creed, Tomb Raider is now, the Sonic, just...
Why does Tomb Raider suck? What happened? I thought those new games were good.
No. 2013 was like fine. Like it's a fine game, but it's just not Tomb Raider at all. It's just like a fake imitation of Uncharted.
So the whole only talked about Superstar for
Tomb Raider
like
used to be
2
so
minutes.
fucking good, and then now it's just not. And it's like they're afraid to talk about it too. Like everywhere you see is there's this reboot fucking Lara. Like what about actual Lara Croft? What happened to her? Why is she not cool anymore? The 2 pistols and I don't know. Makes me sad. I miss it.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, we need the Rooks.
Yeah. I didn't want to say that, but I was.
We need the Rooks to come in and fight for our cause.
Yeah. Okay. Well, sorry. Persona, there's 2 worlds that exist at once.
Yes, and all of
What is it like? Some sort of virtual reality world they all go into at night time and live in, or dream world?
Not. It's kind of a dream world, I guess you could say. They describe it. It's called the metaverse. It exists between reality and dreams, is what they call it. And it's this world that is all about people's cognition. So the way that people. So you know Yves Guillemot, right? The CEO of Ubisoft.
The guy that needs to be fired. Fire
Yes.
Yves, please.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah.
He would have in the Persona universe a palace. Palaces are the culmination of someone's distorted desires. So if you are a terrible human being, your desires become distorted to the point where they're these evil desires, and it forms a palace within the metaverse. And what you do in the game with your team that slowly builds as the game goes on, you meet new people and you build up this team. They're called the Phantom Thieves. They find these bad people, they target them, they go into the metaverse, they go into their palace, and they steal the palace's treasure in order to make the palace crumble, and for the person then in the real world to have a change of heart, so that they will admit what they did was wrong, and then they get punished for their crimes. So they're saving the world in this, different ways. They're not actually fighting the real guy. They're doing it within his own sort of subconscious to make him atone for his
So it's
crime.
like Inception.
Kind of. It's kind of. Is
That sounds like they're like they're going into their dreams to like,
plant an idea.
Inception. Yeah, plant an idea in their head.
It is similar.
Dude,
yeah.
I just want to point out with my camera right now. It was all cloudy this morning. The sun's come out. Now the sky's blue, and it's really fucking with the lighting. So my lighting continues to change. I have to change like exposure and shit.
Yeah.
Oh god, that's too much. That's too much exposure. Is it?
Oh,
god.
camera fucking disasters.
Yeah. Just want to explain that. Why that happens is because it's the morning, so lighting does change. That'll be alright.
That'll make sense.
Just so people understand.
Wait.
It's fine.
It's alright.
Goddamn it.
You'll be okay.
Yeah, it's fine. We're good. Anyway, go on. So it's like Inception.
But yeah, that's Persona, and it's just fucking great. And like, there's just a lot of layers to it. Like, every single character you meet is interesting. They all have their own little side stories that you can pursue, and they're all worth your time to do. So like, you meet a character, and then you have a certain amount of ranks you can get with them, and every time you rank up, you get a new ability in the metaverse that allows you to do different things. But also, you go along this side story arc with them, and essentially the game never has any time jumps or time skips. You live every single day as the story progresses. So you've got like a little date in the corner, and you have to make sure you're using your time appropriately during the day. So you have like stats. Fuck, I'm sneezing. You have stats. So like you have like knowledge and guts and charm and kindness and proficiency that you can level up by doing particular actions. So if you decide to study in the evening or something, then you're going to up your knowledge stat, which means you're able to do different things in particular conversations, or like charm or kindness or whatever, like depending on what you want to level up, different actions will do that. And then character relationships add to different stats within like what your character's able to do. So every single thing you do has a meaning, and every like, so during the day, it's like, maybe it's like the 6th of June, and it's like, okay, so you've got morning, daytime, afternoon, evening, and then you've got to fill those time slots with something to do. So you've got to make sure you're using your time appropriately, so you're not wasting any time, because then you can be losing missing out on potential stat boosting or whatever it might be, or building relationships. And so there's always something to do. It's constantly moving, just constantly doing something. And somehow they perfect pace it, and like when you do something by choice, it feels like it was meant to happen. And when something that's meant to happen happens, it feels like you chose to do it, and it feels like you're paving your way through the story, even though it's so very carefully created.
So that really sort of so that like in between dreams, or what Jack Johnson state can change based on what you're doing through the day, sort of thing.
Yeah, so the way you're able to interact, or the abilities you have when you are in this, like when you're in the dream world, will change, and like you'll be leveling yourself up. So when you go back in, it's like maybe you'll have this new ability where when you die, you'll be able to, one of your friends, because you've built up your relationship with them, they'll be able to step in and make sure you don't die when your health would have hit 0 HP, or something like that. So yeah, it's just really cool, because it's all about cognition. So the way that you perceive your friends and the way that you perceive yourself through your own actions in the real world affects how you're then able to act in the cognitive world. So telling, the relationships, all of it, it's just, and the soundtrack is fucking killer. So it's just a brilliant fucking game. I can't believe I never played it before.
Right. Yeah, right. Okay. Well, that does sound interesting. I can tell you I won't play it ever in my life.
No, I don't think you will. I'm sure you won't.
No. But I wanted to understand what it was.
It's good. You're definitely missing out, but that's okay. It's alright. It's a good game. It might be my top 5 games. It might be my number 5, because I've not got anything in that slot.
What do you mean? You don't have anything in that slot?
I don't have anything there. Like, it could be anything. And now I'm like, well, I'm just going to give it to Persona 5 because I love it so much. The fact that it can go there. Why not?
You're like, of all time, your top 5 favorite games of all time.
Yeah. It's a game I could say it's one of those games that's so close to perfect that I don't really know how I could possibly critique it. And it's one of those games as well, like, I've been playing for 66 or 74 hours, I think I've been playing for now, on this save. And it doesn't feel like it at all. It really doesn't. It's just, the pacing is so good that it just doesn't feel like I'm playing for that long. So it's all been so meaningful, and I don't want it to end. Like, I'm happy for it to keep going. Because the game as well will just add things as the game goes on. So it's not like in the first 5 hours you know everything you can do. It's like, I'm 70 hours in and it's still adding new gameplay elements, where it's like, here's a brand new thing you can do, here's a new area of the world that you can go to, here's a new way you can interact with people. It just keeps adding constantly. It's mental how much there is in this game. It's crazy.
Yeah, well, I just find that so bizarre, to think that of all the games, this one's top 5. I don't know.
I didn't expect it. I mean, Jamie said, like, it's Jamie's favourite game of all time. And he told me that, and I was like, yeah, I'm sure I'm going to love it. Like, I am sure I'm going to love it. But I didn't think I would love it quite as much as I have loved it.
Yeah. Okay.
It's just really, really good.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm glad I understand what it is now, because I just would see it. I'm like, why are you playing an anime? Like, where nothing looks like nothing's happening.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it,
And do I like anime? You know the answer to that. Like, I think you know the answer.
Anime enjoyer?
No.
That's quite sad.
No.
Sad.
Not for me. Not for me. Tell you what is for me. Marvel. Marvel's for me.
Marvel's
and
for you.
Today it was the
You started on like such a dad thing.
Yeah, Marvel's for me.
Marvel's for me, mate.
I get all around the Marvel.
All around it.
How do I get to the server room?
At the time this podcast releases, the first episode of Falcon Winter Soldier has aired. Now, it hasn't now, at the time we're recording this, today is Falcon Winter Soldier Day though. Like, that's why I'm wearing my Marvel shirt. Tonight, me and Harlan and David, we're going to sit in the studio here. We've got the big ass TV here. We're going to watch The Winter Soldier and then watch Falcon the Winter Soldier after it.
That's pretty fun.
It's going to be a good time. I'm excited. Couldn't have come at a better time. Like, I never need anything in my life as much as I need the Falcon the Winter Soldier right now. And I can't fucking wait. I cannot fucking wait for it. But I don't want to talk about that too much because people are like, we've seen
it's right next to the other thing. I'm an idiot.
And there's already a Streamcast episode of us previewing it, so if you haven't watched it, check that out, and then watch it. And then tomorrow, watch the Streamcast episode where Eddie Sheps and myself talk about episode 1 in full spoilers.
That's cool.
So that kind of thing. But I do want to talk to you, James, because I haven't talked to you about now that WandaVision's over.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna skip this just because, to be honest, I don't really care.
What did you think of WandaVision, man? Like, I don't know. I haven't talked to you about it at all. Yeah. And this is spoilers-ish. We're not going to go...
Actually, no, let's not skip it.
It's been a while, so it was cool to see her back. And for the characters of Wanda and Vision,
Dad, where it's actually set up a lot. It didn't reveal any... What are we revealing? Endgame ended everything. This is the start of new shit. All it should be doing is setting up things. It shouldn't be revealing anything.
I think it did very well.
Agreed, 100%.
Yeah, and I think as well that, like I said when I was talking about the beginning, the point of everything Marvel for me is character, and this show is the point of this show. The reason it exists, the reason they're telling a story, is because of the characters of Wanda and Vision. That's literally the point of the show. And so if you didn't think the main villain was the best villain ever, that wasn't the point. The point wasn't Scarlet Witch fights a really compelling villain. The point was Scarlet Witch confronts her own fucking trauma and her feelings for Vision, and you get to see that unfold.
Don't care.
That's the point of the show. It's all about character, it's all about emotion. That's the point, and they nailed that. So everything else to me is just a bonus thing on top that adds to just it being a superhero show. And I thought it was really cool. I mean, I thought all that stuff was great, and seeing Wanda sort of truly be able to use and understand her power, and it not just be like she does this thing that she just sort of does, like has like these epic powers and stuff. It's like actually understanding, she uses magic the same way that Doctor Strange uses magic. I thought that was all cool, and like the opportunity that now she's able to learn these things and learn spells and do more, like an actual witch rather than just like a superhero that shoots beams of light and stuff. I thought was really, really, really cool, and that was a really nice setup. And yeah, I was a big fan of the show. I thought it was fucking good fun.
Yeah, no, I loved it. I loved it. I thought it set up a lot of good things outside of even just Wanda and Vision. Monica Rambeau is a great character. I've thoroughly enjoyed her throughout the whole season. And that's going to be good, and hopefully she can be we know Captain Marvel 2 is being made, so hopefully she can come in and sort of make it good, you know what I mean? So that would be nice.
Yeah. She's doing bits as well now with some fucking powers going on and stuff.
Yeah, and we don't sort of know what happened there, but I'm excited to see that get explained in Captain Marvel 2, which is what you'd assume is where they set up at the end of the show. With pretty much from the post-credit scene of Far From Home.
Anything useful
with Fury wanting to see her. So there's all of that, which is exciting. And so that's tying into that project. Having Darcy back was cool, and I don't think they're setting anything up particularly with Darcy other than she'll be able to show up again, in other things randomly. And same with Jimmy Woo. Like, I don't think it necessarily set up anything with him other than we'd all be happy to see him again if he were to show up in something that makes sense.
I'm going to my
they're just
contact
actual
with the Attorney
characters now
General's
that
office right now. No time to
exist
waste.
in this world, and it's cool seeing them and seeing them team up and everything. And I think, Darcy and Jimmy, I think both work so well in this show as characters. They make sense to be there. And, they were written well. It was just good to see returning characters, especially like Darcy. Like, we've not seen her in a decent while, so it was cool to see her back. And it just felt good being in the MCU again. Like, just seeing a bunch of different characters interacting with each other with these stories. Like, it's just so good. I fucking love the MCU. I miss this so much. I'm so happy it's back.
Yeah, it was a great break though. We needed the break.
I think we needed the break
for what it was, and even the extended break that got, due to COVID, was almost helpful. That it wasn't Black Widow that got us back. It was WandaVision and then Falcon the Winter Soldier. So we've had a good break, and now we're gonna get these 6 episodes of Falcon
Alright,
Winter
let's fast
Soldier.
travel here and we'll end.
That's gonna set up apparently 3 future MCU projects. That's a good question. If you were what are the 3 projects, future MCU projects this is going to set up? Prediction.
3 future MCU projects. I feel like one has got to be revolving around Captain America. You would think.
Yeah.
Alright, we're gonna end here. Next
Some
episode,
sort of solo film
thank you for watching.
potentially to be a Captain America film.